Guys, this is day 10, day 11, oops, my bad, day 11 of the Nicka Diaries, and today I think we said we were going to do books. So let's start off. I'll show you all the books I have and I'll talk about other things, and then that's going to be my video. So my room's still a state, but my books are all on this shelf. So I'm going to start, if I can move all my stuff, oops, I'm going to start from, it's my laptop, I need that, I'm going to start from, wait, I will start, I promise. Okay, I'm going to start from over here. Okay, so first of all, on this side we have The Illustrated Mum by Jacqueline Wilson. The Illustrated Mum is my favourite Jacqueline Wilson book. I used to be really into Jacqueline Wilson and I used to collect all her books and I used to read them all. And the last one, the most recent one that I've read, which isn't the most recent one that's out, is Hetty Feather. I don't have Hetty Feather anymore because I got a Kindle, but I'll get to that in a second, and I ended up being told to bin all my books, and I know that's sacrilegious and that's disgusting, but I ran out of space and I kept my favourites, and this was one of my favourites, so this is the only Jacqueline Wilson that I kept. But I did love other Jacqueline Wilsons such as The Lottie Project, Candy Floss, Love Lessons, which is definitely my favourite. It's about a girl and she falls in love with her art teacher, and the art teacher kind of loves her, and they get together and they cheat. The people find out and she has to move school. It's great. I always wanted to fall in love with a teacher. I haven't, but yeah. And yeah, so I really like Jacqueline Wilson for ages. I read Cookie and I was a bit disappointed with Cookie, and then I read Hetty Feather and I stopped buying them because, I don't know, I just stopped. They just stopped becoming appealing to me. But they're good. Like, I read this quite a lot. I think it deals with some issues in a nice way. It's great. This is Book of 1,000 Days by Shannon Hale. This is basically a servant's diary, and she's a servant to a princess who's trapped in a tower, and it's one of the best books I've ever read. The blurb reads, "This is no ordinary fairy tale. The hero isn't charming, the heroine is a brat, and you certainly won't guess the ending. You won't guess the ending. You won't. You have to read it. When a beautiful lady refuses to marry the lord her father has chosen, her father is furious. So furious that he locks her away in a tower with a maid. But the maid realises there's something deeply sinister behind her lady's fear of the lord, something which means they could be in more danger and beyond the walls of the tower than imprisoned within them." So good. It's written in kind of old-timey language, but it's so good and you should read it. Okay. This is The Curious Incident of the Dog in the Nighttime by Mark Haddon. This is considered a classic. It's about a boy with Asperger's and things he notices, and a dog that dies, and it's got some nice plot twists. Enjoy a screenshot of my many chins. Like, I have so many chins, like, chins. Okay. But yeah, it's a nice book. These are mostly books I've kept from when I was a kid, but I've kept them anyway. I'm getting to the proper ones, the kind of other ones that I've got soon. Sophie Mackenzie is one of my favourite authors, or was one of my favourite authors kind of 2-3 years ago. And this was the first book I ever read by her, and it was called Girl Missing, if you can't see the title because I can't hold it right. And it was basically this girl who found out she had actually been taken from her family as a baby, and she had been adopted by this other family, but the other family didn't know she'd been stolen, and she goes to find her actual mum and dad. But she knew she was adopted, but the mum and dad didn't know she was stolen, and Wee bit confusing if you don't read it, but read it. Okay. More books by Sophie Mackenzie. This is a trilogy. Kind of reminds me of X-Men. It's about this guy who implanted this gene in 5 people, and it gives them all powers. So it's a wee bit like X-Men for teenagers, except there's teenagers and a load of shit. It's okay. It's not terrible. Putting that back, we've got the second book of that series. Now, this is also by Sophie Mackenzie. Okay. 6 Steps to a Girl. And there's another one that the 6 Steps to a Girl is the first one. Then there's a second one, and this is the third one. I don't have the second one, but I really like this trilogy. It's about a guy called Luke, and it's written from his perspective, and he likes this girl called Eve, and he eventually gets this girl called Eve. Then they go away on holiday together, and they do that in the second one. Then she gets taken away to Spanish boarding school by her dad, who lives in Spain. And in this one, she comes back, and they get back together, and they have sex. That's basically what happens in that book. Again, I read it when I was young. Now, speaking of books that I've read when I was younger, here is the Narnia collection. Now, I've not properly read this because I've seen all the films, but I haven't properly read it. I need to get round to reading them because I really like them, and C.S. Lewis is cool. Some nice quotes, I like him. Okay, so here we go. The Hunger Games trilogy. I got into the Hunger Games just before the film because I wanted to go see the film, but I wanted to read the books first because I prefer to do that. And I prefer to do that. So I read them and I really liked them. I think my favourite's Catching Fire. I don't want to spoil it for anyone who hasn't read the books and wants to see the film, but I like the idea they used with the arena in it, and Mockingjay was a teensy bit boring, but really, really, really sad, and I quite like sad things, so that was good. I've also got, I'm not taking all of these out, okay, I've got the Adrian Mole collection, which I haven't finished reading. But the ones I have read of are really good and I really like them. Okay, I'm going to put this shelf back because that's me done with this shelf, almost. Okay. Oh. Oh, it's my college ID card. You don't need to see that. I'll put that up there because I might need it. Okay. These two are the Night World series by the guy who wrote Vampire Diaries, and this one's my favourite, and they've got 3 different stories in them each, but they're all kind of linked and they're really good, but you have to read them to understand what I'm saying. Okay, this is such a good book. It's called Change of Heart by Jodi Picoult. I had to double check that, I shouldn't have. She's a really good author. I've also read My Sister's Keeper, which is one of my favourite books in the entire world, and I've got the film, but I didn't mention that in my films because it's packed away. But this is about a girl, basically, let me flick through it to explain it, because I can't explain it right. Basically, this guy, right, and he kind of ends up on death row, right, and for killing a kid, and the husband of a woman, and they killed a woman's husband and a kid, right, and her kid, but he didn't actually, and he ends up on death row for it, and the thing he wants, and it turns out that her daughter needs a heart transplant because her heart's really shitty, and he wants to give him it. and she doesn't know it's him, but eventually, yeah. And it's about his battle to try and get I'm sorry, I don't know how to explain this. When you get injected to die, your whole heart stops, your bodily functions stop, but he wants to die a different way so that he can give his heart to this girl, and it's about him trying to do that, and people think he's Jesus and things, and it's really good. Okay, I've got another book over there by Jodie Picoult called 19 Minutes, which I'm not going to go get out because I'm sat down now. But that's about a guy who goes into a school and shoots a lot of people. And it's kind of a sensitive subject, but I think she handles it really well, and it's really well written. And you wouldn't expect some of the things that happen and to happen, so yeah. Okay, also over there, which I'm not getting, are most of the books of the House of Night saga. More Than Three's a saga, isn't it? House of Night saga, which is basically about this girl who gets marked as a vampire, and she goes to a vampire school, and it's good. And I'm not ashamed of liking that because it's still good. Okay. I've got How to Be Popular by Meg Cabell, because who doesn't want to know how to be popular? I've also got Teen Idol by Meg Cabell, because that is what I'm going to be. I've got... Okay, I'm on autobiographies now. I've got The Girls Aloud autobiography that they all wrote before they broke up. I've got Miley Cyrus's autobiography, Miles to Go. I don't know why, I quite liked it. I've got a biography of Cheryl Cole, who is a member of Girls Aloud. I've got Westlife's autobiography, but I don't like Westlife. I think someone must have bought me it as a gift and I just kept it. I've got... What else have I got? Let me check. I've got a book from the Doctor Who experience, which I spoke about. I've got this book that my friend got me for Christmas, because I really love Titanic and it is one of my favourite books. And look at it, it's 3D. Look at that. That's 3D. It's 3D. What would you not want with that? Look at the audio. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. The audio. Look at the visuals on this. Look. How beautiful is it? Just best picture ever. Okay, I'm back. Have you noticed the theme with me liking actresses with red hair? Yeah. Obsession. I'm sorry. Okay. I've got that. And I've got the Doctor Who Annual 2011. And Colleen's Real Style. And a book on Blondie and Debbie Harry, because I really like Blondie and Debbie Harry. And my friend got me that for my birthday, my 16th, because I had an 80s themed birthday party. And it fitted. So she got me that. And other books that I like that I don't own include Perks of Being a Wallflower, which is such a good book. I got into it kind of... I wanted to go see the film, because Emma Watson's a great actress, and I hadn't heard of the other guy, so I was like, I'll go in there and see what that's like. And so I read the book, and I really loved the book, and the book was so well written and so nice. And it means a lot to me, and I really like the book. But I don't actually have a physical copy for some reason, but I really do like it. I read it online. I found a link to read it online, so I read it online. I can't remember where the link is, so please don't ask for it, because I can't find it. Anyways, yeah, I've read that. I read Jane Eyre. It's a brilliant book. I spoke about that before. That's one of my favourite books, and I'm doing that with Pride and Prejudice for my dissertation in English. Alice in Wonderland, great book again. I started reading Frankenstein by Mary Shelley, but I'm not sure I like it. I need to kind of sit... It's one of those books where I need to sit down and read it out loud to myself to make sense of it, because the sentences are really long and I kind of tend to lose focus. I had to get rid of my books because regrettably I got a Kindle, and there's nothing I've ever regretted more in my life than the day I got a Kindle and got rid of all my books. This is my second Kindle, and I broke it. So I had tons of books on it and I can't read them now, and it makes me really sad. But because they won't send me a replacement, because that's my second